Do you have a theme song?
I do have a theme song.
Oh, for real?
I have a theme song. I do.
Fire.
And Ben made it for me. Ben's one of our producers. He plays bass and he makes beats fire.
Word.
Fire as fuck. But new episode of One Could Argue. I'm here with my dog Chase.
What's
up,
good?
man?
What's good? Thank you for having me, man. This is
Of
crazy.
course, man. So we've had hella conversations. We could have recorded this podcast about 4 times.
For real.
Since we started talking, since we met here.
Yeah.
It's the Dreamville camp going on here at Tree, which is of course where my office is.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Chase linked up. We was just talking about video shit, just talking about, you know, what he does and stuff like that. And ever since then, we've just been back and forth.
I just ran into you in the halls, both of you guys. It's
randomly. Yeah, we were in Roop's office and sitting down. I think we was watching like Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And he came and was like, yo, what y'all on? He was like, yo, shit, watching Dark Knight, and went to a whole
one of my
tangent.
favorites too. So I was like, yo, I already like these guys.
Yeah, facts.
For real.
So shit, man, honestly, let's just start from the beginning, because I know this whole situation has gotten crazy for you.
Yeah.
In a very short period of time, as far as people like seeing your photos and stuff like that and bringing so much more attention. I think you got like 5,000 followers in like 2 days or some crazy shit like that.
Crazy.
So of course we got to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, where did all of this start? Like, how'd you start into photography, just period?
Well, when I was 17, like I graduated high school, I wanted to like get into videos, photos. So I got a camera. I got a T3i, you know, just like real basic
Light
starter
work.
camera. Yeah. So I was working for my dad. Like I was just chilling like summer break between like high school and college. I didn't have a plan though. I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I was just like sitting there. My dad busts in the room. He's like, "You're working for me." He was a janitor, but then he worked his way up to like management. So he's like, "I got a job at a building downtown. Like, come through and start working." It was like part time. So I was like, "All right, every boy's dream to be a janitor, right? Like,
Right.
Let's do this."
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
So I started doing that, and then I was messing around with photography, and I wanted to do music videos. But I hit up like a local rapper, and he wasn't hitting me back. I was like, "Yo, I'll do your video for free. Like, let's just work." No response. So I was like, "Man, I'm just gonna make my own music. Like, I don't need this guy. I'm good." So I started making my own thing, and I really got like wrapped into making music. So like, shit. From there, I just got hooked, and I just did like a deep dive into music. And you know, for 3 or 4 years, I was just rapping. I was like, I'm gonna make it. Like, I quit my job. I remember I was working security, and I was doing janitorial like at the same time. I worked for Microsoft. Like I was patrolling on the vehicles.
Oh
and shit.
damn.
Yeah, like it was terrible, but like I started there.
It was terrible.
Yeah, so I worked there for like a month, and then I quit that. I was still doing like janitor work on the side, but like I quit that because I was like, "Yo, I'm about to be on. I'm gonna put out my first song, and I'm gonna be popping." It was terrible. It was so trash.
God.
I had to go back and get that job because I quit way too fast.
Did your dad know you was trying to rap?
Yeah, I remember
say?
he came in the room and he was playing like one of my first songs, and he was like, "Okay." He's like,
I
"You
see
trying to be a
why."
rapper?" Yeah, like from where I'm from Snohomish, Washington. It's like just north of Seattle, like 20 minutes, and there's like no hip hop there. It's like it's like a country, like, you know, way out there, cows, farms, what you name it. Like it's a small town. But yeah, so there wasn't a big hip hop scene around there. But yeah, so, you know, dove into that music shit for like 3-4 years. Started making beats because I couldn't afford my own beats. So I was like, I'm gonna just get into that and start making all the music. And I just got stuck in that wormhole for years. Ended up getting burnt out from that. Long story short, around 2017, like December, I got that same Canon T3i, and I wanted to do photos and video. And I was like, let me just dive back into like what I started doing,
Right.
what I wanted to do when I was 17. But I just didn't have the opportunity. So I was like, I'm gonna just make my own. And then I made connections through rap, you know, from like being in the studio or meeting people. And I hit up one of my buddies, Mexi Jake. He's like a rapper from Seattle. And I was like, "Yo, let me shoot your music video for free. Like, your next song. Like, if you got a song for me, I would love to shoot it, and let's make it happen." And he was like, "Bet, let's do it."
Damn.
So that was my first video coming back from like shooting my own videos, selfie mode, like when I was a rapper, and like editing that. I remember one time I got a video, right? Like, this is just a random story. Like, I got a video shot for me for one of my songs, and the guy was in like film school or whatever. He bailed on me. Like, after he shot it, he said, I don't have time. Like, I'm in school. I got to finish this project. Here's all the files. Go to town.
Oh,
so that was the first time I really edited my own video. I was like,
Wow.
wow, like I really have to learn this because I want the video to come out. It turned out fire. Like for my first edit, you know, turned out pretty solid.
So you
legit
had to edit your first video.
So that was
by
really
yourself.
like my first taste of like editing.
What did you edit in?
Final Cut.
Final Cut.
Still the same. Yeah. So everyone that wants to know what I edit on, Final Cut.
Yeah.
Lightroom for photos. Final Cut, it's amazing. It's simple.
Have you ever used Premiere?
No. Once. I use Adobe After Effects a little bit. Yeah, like I'm decent like at like effects, but you know, I still want to get better at that. Like it's just a whole nother world though.
Yeah.
Big time.
And I feel the same way because I dabble in Premiere from time to time. We had that conversation, but more so for like TV stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have a few more things that have the functionality better for that. But Final Cut literally has everything in the same application. I don't have to move from Premiere to After Effects and back in, and so it makes it real tricky.
Yeah.
But to that point that you were saying, I think to the point you were saying, I think it's dope because it just shows that with you dipping off and doing the rap thing, when you came back full circle to photography, you were able to utilize those relationships that you made as a rapper to be like, yo, let me shoot this show or let me whatever. So I think it's interesting to see how things like that really make you more confident in knowing that the time wasn't wasted. Because it can be like, yo, I've been rapping this long, nothing came of it. It's like, nah, like acknowledge the fact of all these relationships came from you.
Nothing was a waste. Like everything's under that same umbrella
like,
of just rap. So like, you know, everything transferred over. Like when I was making beats, I could do the sound design for the videos. Like that's a crucial part of videos. A lot of people don't know that. Like sound design is half the battle. The visuals 100%. Can be fire, but if the sound design is not on point, it's game over.
Yeah, it's like that small 20% that makes it
takes it to the next level.
Takes it to the next level.
If you watch like my recaps, all the transitions have like crazy whoosh sounds and whatever. Just found those on YouTube, by the way. Like you don't have to pay for this shit. Everything's free. I'm like, I got like a master's in YouTube. Like, you know, like that's just like where you go to learn. Like if you want to do this.
Yeah, I literally all the time just be like swoosh SFX or filmed SFX, and it'll be and they even have sites where people just upload them for like free use, like keys and jingling and all kind of shit.
Exactly.
But that's dope. But to that point, how was it once you started getting into photography again? Because you are Boz's tour photographer.
I am.
How did that whole thing come into the picture?
Well, after I did that first music video, like I was nervous as hell, but like I did a great job. They loved it. You know, just kept doing music videos, recaps, everything. I did weddings, documentaries, just trying to get better. So like I built that up, got my skills better, got like my turnaround time way faster. Like my process was down, and I just kept building. And after, like once I met Boz, it was at Bumbershoot in Seattle. It's like a big festival. You know, Cole was performing, Boz was performing, Kaz, like a lot of Dreamville and like a lot of Seattle acts. So like by that time, that was like September, I already built up like a network of Seattle rappers that like know my shit. Like I was just known for the guy that does recaps. And like, I did photos too. Like people like the photos, but like the recap videos were like just growing. It's like everyone knew me as like the recap god or whatever. They're like, yo, that's the guy you need. Like call him if you need that shit. And I was like, that was crazy. So like by the time Boz was coming, I already had connections with people that were performing at Bumbershoot. So I just hit them up. I was like, yo, I'll do your video for free. You know, some people I haven't worked with before. And he just so happened, his name is Grinch. He's like a local legend in Seattle. Like he's got a couple big songs, but like he was like performing right before Boz. So I hit him up. I was like, yo, I'll shoot your set for free. Like I've always been a fan. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So like it was just crazy the timing because you know there's like 5, 6, 7 different stages at Bumbershoot, and he just happened to be on the same stage as Boz right before. So I just stayed around. Like security knew me, and I just stayed around backstage, and Boz came out. I was like, yo, dude, fire album. Shit was crazy. And he was like, thank you. Then he went on, killed it. I did like my 3 songs in the pit, shot some from the crowd, gave it to, I met Boz and Night Train like after the show, did little portraits and whatever, and sent it over next day, and they loved it.
Then there it was just rap city.
Yeah, they're like, you want to go on the road? And I was like, I do. I definitely do.
I definitely
I will be there for
That's
sure.
That's fire. That's important because even to that point, and this is sort of similar to the point we were saying before as far as that time not wasted. Like you being like, yo, I'll shoot your shit for free. I think that's one of those hurdles that a lot of creatives are dealing with right now because there's the conversation of knowing your value and getting paid for your work, and it's like there's a million. If you want to get into this field, there's millions of people that want to do this. Millions.
Facts, yeah.
So it's like, I think the easiest way to break through that and give someone an advantage is to be like, you know what, I'll do it for free. Because that already is like, free? You know what I mean? And then if you have the skill set on top of it, because even if you was willing to do it for free and you hadn't had time editing your own videos and getting your sound effects and stuff together, it would have been like, yo, like, I'm not gonna run with this kid for too long, even though it's free, because the work is
it's
trash.
gotta be it's gotta be on point.
So it's just like being able to acknowledge that and see like, yo, me doing this thing for free, and then later on, of course, it can turn into an opportunity to make money. But there's also so many other ways that you can be paid from that, whether it's experience, being able to go to different cities and states you've never been to before, on top of just like, yo, like, this is actually just hella cool. I get to hang around with Bobs. I get to be around with people from Dreamville.
My first show was like a local headliner, but he's like one of my favorite rappers, and like he didn't have a videographer that night, so I shot the opener. I contacted the opener. That's how you get on. Like, you hit up the openers. They have no fans. They need content. They're trying to build up their name. So free content is like their favorite thing. They don't have a budget for you anyways.
Yep.
And they want that.
100%.
It's like you give them photos and videos that are just decent. You don't have to be that amazing. Like, they're not expecting crazy quality, and that's a chance for you to build up like your skills, build up your network. And I ended up shooting the headliner's video that night. He posted the next day. Damn. Got like 5,000 views or whatever. People start recognizing you. Like, man, that's crazy. And you get to be on stage, like seeing these people that you look up to, like killing it. And you're right there. Like,
and people get to see you. People get to see you on stage. Like, that's all stuff that's like, yo, like I'm becoming famous. I'm becoming not famous in that weird way, but like, yo, like people are like, yeah, I seen you on stage at this show. Like, that puts you in a different tier of person. That helps you be able to maneuver through certain spaces, and that's all stuff that is of value that isn't. I can't put my hand on it. It's not like $100 bill, but it's like that's something
you can though. Like, for real. Like, I was like I got into a JID show like when I first started. It was like I think late January and of 2018, and I was on stage, and like there was some guy in the crowd that saw me, and he hit me up, and we did a music video. You know, he paid me. Like,
facts. Just from seeing you on stage.
And he just found me online, and he was like, yo, I want to work. And I was like, that's crazy. He met me from just being on stage. Just being on stage. At a show, yeah.
And then, you, like I said, you show up with the quality. And it's like, if he was like, yo, you know, how much y'all going to pay me? Well, it's not a paid gig where it's like, well, you know, I got to get paid. I know my worth. It's like, bro, shut up.
I ended up doing 4 recaps that show, all 4 performers. I don't waste my time like I do every person. Like, nobody's doing that. And when you're getting paid, you really can't do that, because like, you know, you gotta focus on the one client.
Whoever paid you,
and make them happy. Yeah, like if you're shooting other people, you're wasting time, which I understand. Like, I didn't understand at the time like why the guy that was shooting the headliner wasn't shooting the openers. I was like, man, he's missing out on a great opportunity to like build up his network.
Right.
So I shot everybody.
That's a really good point, and I think those are all things that when you're trying to get into this field and you're trying to, I guess, come up with a blueprint of how you should function, it's like, okay, what are all of the ways that I can put myself at an advantage? Of, okay, I know I came to shoot this person, but if y'all not gonna kick me out the pit once they get off, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna edit everybody's shit.
Yeah, they didn't kick me out
all my photos spread across 4 different platforms.
Facts.
And it's all that attention coming right back, and it's just like,
from day one I did that. Like, every show was like 3 or 4 recaps. I was like, who's going to put that time in? I was like, I'm going to separate myself just by getting better. By doing 3 or 4 recaps a week, nobody's doing that. Plus photos, this is game over.
And I think that just establishes the work ethic, and you realize as things get more hectic, it's like, yo, I've already been doing more than enough out the gate. So now that the workload is actually heavier, it's like, I sort of been doing this, so this is just second nature. Right. It's like it's gonna have to be a real extensive challenge for me to be like, yo, this is a heavy workload. Like, even with me, like doing a podcast and stuff, like having done videos for so long and tried to start making beats and stuff, I started learning so much about so much different stuff, to where it's like, and we have a squad. Like, I got me, me, Roop, and X. We all shoot. But if push come to shove, you put any of us in the situation. If it had to be just me setting up the lights,
you ready? You done it.
I'm ready because I've already been doing it. And I think that's an advantage that most people don't always look at. And it's like, yo, you're cheating yourself. Like, you have these opportunities to put yourself in a situation to build up the mental strength and the skill sets to walk in any room and be like, yo, what you need? Oh, I can do that too.
Job.
And I can do that. Oh, you need a recap and you want some photos? Bet, gotcha. You need some graphic design work, and I'll do your flyer, and I'll whatever. And
it'll be fire, and it'll be quick. Like,
exactly.
Videographer's taking way too much time. Like 2 weeks for a video is way too crazy.
That's ridiculous.
In this day and age.
It is though. And I think it's because, you know, you have to have that structure and you have to have that plan, and you got to be able to, like I said, and everything doesn't have to be super amazing over the top. Sometimes it just needs to be clean. Like, I just need something of quality at a base level because it's absorbed so quickly. There's so many people that's just gonna watch it real quick on to the next thing. But people who watch something and know every time I've seen it, it's at least been, the color's been fine, the lighting's been good, the cuts have been clean, I'll keep on coming back. And it separates you from so many other people. Yeah. Because so many other people, their stuff is just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, from the first show I did, like, I always try to get it back the next day. Like, I would edit that night.
Right.
I would go home because I'd be so hyped. Like, man, I just shot like one of my favorite rappers. Like, yo, I'm gonna get home and get this to him tomorrow. Like, even if he doesn't post it, like just imagine having, as a client, like, getting the video back the next day and it's fire. Like, the quality's still gonna need to be there, but you gotta put that time in. So I'd stay up all night. My girl would be like, "What are you doing? Like, come back to bed." Like, no, I'm too hyped. I gotta get this video done.
Facts.
Like, time is of the essence, especially for recaps. Like, you want to get it over as quick as possible.
As soon as possible. And there's just so many little nuances of it all that people overlook. And it's like, yo, I know I just spent 4 hours at this event and I want to go to sleep, but if I just spend an hour just getting this done, and sometimes we've done recaps and got them sent back the night of, and people have been like, yo, what like the hell?
Never happens.
And as soon as they get some more work coming in, we the first ones they hitting up like, yo,
easy. Are
y'all available? And like, it's because they know, like, the feedback, the turnaround time is impeccable and it's gonna look great.
So important.
It's so
showing up early on set or at the show.
Being there to let them know, like, okay, what's the lighting situation here? Do I need light panels? Do I need such and such? Should I get a third camera? You know what I mean? Like, that just gives you time to make them feel like you actually care about their event. Yeah. And it gives you the opportunity to make sure you can do your best work. We've gone places and it's been hella dim. Like, I'm like, yo, I thought it would have been, the pictures we saw online of the space looked super bright. Now, I think that camera just clicked through.
We lost it.
Did it?
No, we're still going. I think I was on that.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, like I said, those are those little things that people overlook that will have people always think of you first when it comes to opportunities to make some more money.
Yeah.
And get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And there'll be people who may sometimes even be better than you. Like, their work may technically be better, but the feeling, the relationship of care will make somebody be like, you know what, I don't even care. I'll just run with, this is my guy. I've been running with him for the last 6 months. We're just gonna keep rocking with them.
Yeah, like, don't be a weirdo too. Like, when you're backstage or whatever, don't be like Snapchatting all this crazy shit and like trying to be that guy. Like, yo, I'm backstage. Like, that's whack. That's
not what you're
never gonna work. Like, think about, like, if you were in that position, you wouldn't want to be like bothered and shit. So it's the same shit. Yeah,
100%. And you got the person who booked you looking at you like, yo, like, this ain't what you here for. And I think that, to your very same point, it's like, those are the small nuanced things that make someone be like, yo, I don't have to worry about leaving him in a room with the artist who's a A-lister and them trying to spark up a conversation, or being the one who got the camera like this. And it's just like, I don't got to worry about that. So even if your camera skills are a tad bit subpar, I'd so much rather be able to not worry about that than worry, you know what I mean, than the opposite. Yeah. So I think those are all of the little things. There's just so many of them, but that was a really good one.
Gotta be
just
professional.
being able to.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah, like, I still rap, like, on occasion, right? So like when Boz's manager D saw that, like, he hit me up and was like, just make sure, like, you know, you're gonna meet a lot of people on the road. Like, make sure you're not, like, you're just being professional. Just don't be that guy.
I'm
like,
Boz's photographer. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about nothing else. I don't want no one to get an inkling of feeling like I was trying to. And it's just like, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of times people have that mindset of, yo, well, you know, I should be able to at least do this because, and it's like, then go do something else. You know what I mean? Because if we all was able to do what we should be able to do, the world would be a whole different place. Like, if this is what you're here for, be here for this. And that makes them feel like, yo, he values my time. He values my money.
Yeah.
He values
if I bring him around someone big time, it's like I'm not gonna like no. I'm gonna know he's not gonna do some weird shit that's gonna like make us all look bad.
Right.
So it's
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's a really good point. I had something else to say on the back of that.
I got something to say like on that same topic. Like I heard of like videographers and photographers that made it on tour, and they they get cut off just because like they don't have good hygiene. They're just weird to be around. Like you got to hang around these people for months. Like you're gonna be on a bus or on a Sprinter van with like 12 dudes sometimes. Like you got to be like a normal guy. Like if you start pushing the shit, like you're gonna, like what we don't want to hang around someone that's just like weird. Like it's not the move.
Yeah,
it's too much time with a group of guys. You don't want to just be the one guy that's like pushing shit,
Yeah, 100%. Keep you some extra washcloths in your bag. You got to hit.
I literally heard of some guy getting cut because he was too smelly. Like, and they tried to warn him, and then he just didn't want to change. So like he's, out of a job or whatever, and he's not working.
Over not washing your armpits.
It's simple, man.
Like, bro, it takes two. Just go in the bathroom, put some soap. Like, bro, just scrub it real quick. A couple seconds, you gonna be straight. Like
for real. And
that's the thing. I think to that point too, it's a lot of people who they miss their opportunity to even self-correct. Because it's like, yo, I'm on tours. A couple people have already hinted at me that I've been a little bit too friendly or I've been a little bit too smelly.
Dial it
and
back.
You're like, yo, they tripping. It's like, just take the criticism and fix it.
It's quick. It's
easy.
Is
it really worth you not being on tour right now? Like, that could have turned into anything.
For real.
And it's just like, yo, bro, there's so many times in my life where I look back and I think about times people tried to correct me on something, and my initial thing was to be like defensive and be like, oh, well, for whatever reason.
Took it personally or some shit.
Took it personally, and then I look back and I'm like, yo, that could have turned into this and turned into that, and now I'm just stuck starting from square one again, trying to find someone to restart the process all over again with, when I could have just been like, all right, cool.
Just fix that one thing, and you didn't have to go through all that work.
If they ain't bringing it up for no reason, you stink. Like, bro, you stink, bro. Like,
or they won't even bring it up. Like, you just got to be self-aware.
Yeah,
it's not easy though.
Nah, it's not, and it takes a lot of energy that people don't necessarily put into it, because I think right now, and I'm not sure if it's because the space to create is so open. Like, it's like anyone can jump into it at any point in time. It's like all of these guidelines are being bypassed. It's like, oh, there is no criteria for being able to pick up a camera and just end up in, anyone can end up in these opportunities. And I think that's the crazy part, because even though so many people can just be like, yo, I'm a photographer, it's still those people who pay attention to what we're talking about right now that cut through and become the ones who were like,
and quick too. Like, you just got to show up, do good work, do it quick. Really simple. Not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. So on that note, in regards of now, like, what does improvement now look like for you? Like, what are some things that, as you're editing or doing videos, that you're looking at, like, okay, here's some things that I'm working on to perfect my craft even more at this point?
Some things I learned, like on the first leg of tour, was like, it's all about moments. Like, you don't want to post like a 2-minute video when 30 seconds would have done good. Like, initially, like, I would have posted the whole video, but like, Boz and D were like, yo, just focus on like this moment. Like, we don't want to give them everything. We could bring it up on a documentary or something later on, but like, just focus on that one moment and just like build the hype off that. And that opened my eyes for sure. Like, turnaround time's always going to be, number one along with quality. Right. But like, just keep pumping out good work and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that too for me, because I also, with me this year, I wanted to focus a lot more on, we had this conversation. We had so many conversations beforehand.
Too many.
But but I think for me this year was really just getting a structure about what I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing. So even with the podcast, like last year, I was trying to dabble with video from time to time, even though I do video. And it came out horrible. And some people would look at it and be like, yo, this actually looks pretty good. But I'm like, I know me. Right. I know what I could do, and I know this ain't that. So
and
I'm not even about to allow you
to. You gotta reach that bar you set for yourself.
100%.
If you don't fuck with it, no one's gonna fuck with it.
Right, for sure. And it's like, and you don't even really feel. I think in situations like that, I don't even really feel fulfilled with receiving a compliment on it. It's not that weird way like, yo, oh, this whole thing is like, nah, like I actually know this looks like dog shit compared to what I could have did if I actually wasn't fucking around and focused on doing it for real, not trying to half-ass it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think with this year, it was a matter of being like, yo, let me set up some structure. Okay, when am I doing a podcast? I'm doing it every Wednesday. Bet.
Right.
What do I have to do to get it done? All right. If I'm doing it Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I'm finding what I want to talk about. Saturday and Sunday, I'm creating the episode. Monday, Tuesday, I'm editing and creating my graphics. Wednesday, drop. And I was like, okay, now every day I know what you gotta do. A guideline.
And if you don't do it, you're not gonna get it on time.
Before I was just trying to wing it every time. I was just like, I'm just gonna come up with something, and it always wind up being the night before I'm pushing out a podcast.
Procrastinating, like grinding.
For sure, and it's just like, and you'll feel like you're putting in work. It's like, oh man, I was just like, bro, like you're working the dumbest way you possibly could. Like this is not efficient at all.
Word.
And I think now, even just through the past couple of weeks and doing it, I've just been like, yo, this has worked out great. I've been doing my lighting setup before, and okay, how do I want everyone to sit? How do I want, you see, even before we got this, we were still just tweaking, like, okay, do we need to change this mic? Should I move this guitar? And it just trains your mind to focus on so many more things and details. So when it comes to the conversation about improvement, it's like, it's a bunch of, at this point, it's not even big changes we have to make anymore.
Yeah.
It's just those small little tweaks in every bit of the process that makes our shit just be like, oh, Chase's shit is just always clean. Like, I don't even understand. Like, it's just dope. You know what I mean? And I think that part of it is what's always, there's always something to focus on. There's always something you can improve on a tad bit that makes your shit that much more better. That's what's so crazy about life. Like, I remember reading an interview about Denzel Washington, and he was like, yeah, I still go to acting classes. And I'm like, what? Like,
it's like, who's going to teach that guy?
Who's going to teach you?
But if he just learns one little thing that, like, takes it up another notch, it's worth it.
It's out of here, and it continues to cement you as the greatest.
Right.
And there's no way around it. That shit is actually nuts.
Yeah. Crazy.
Let's see, what else? I think we can maybe do some questions.
Hell yeah.
Do some questions?
Let's do it. I feel like we talked about so many things like off camera.
We really did though.
That we really don't want to like go through it again. But it's
that's
like,
what it is, yo.
We kind of need to
like 3 days ago.
We should have done like a whole like set of podcasts.
It would have been like 4 episodes in a row.
Chop up the best moments. Yeah,
it would have been 4 episodes in a row for like 4 weeks, like an hour and a half a piece.
For real. One thing I wanted to say was like, yo, I bought this sweater at a J. Cole show like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's crazy to like wear it.
Be wearing
like,
it
working.
As part
it's
of
like
the
a uniform now. Like I got my own uniform. People think I got this shit from like Dreamville. Like no, I paid for the shit. My girl actually paid for it because I couldn't afford it like at the time. So it's like it's crazy to be like here right now. But shit, you know, started making beats. Like went through my whole story, how I met Boz. You know, we've been on tour. We're about to hop back on tour in like a week, doing the rest of the U.S.
Where's the first date at?
Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver.
Heading down to Seattle.
Well, of course, you've been to Canada before at this point.
Yeah, I've been in Vancouver.
What's your favorite place you've been to?
Like on the road? Shit. I like Montreal.
Where's that at?
It's in Canada.
It's in Canada?
It's Quebec, yeah. It's like, it feels like Paris almost. Like, it's like everyone's speaking French. Like
really?
You go to McDonald's like bonjour, and I'm like, oh shit,
bro, I'm
out
so
here.
not cultured, bro. Like Root probably knows all of this, but he's probably, I don't know, Root's ashamed of me right now. He's like shaking his head. Root probably knows all of that shit, but I'm like, what the hell? They speak French in Canada? That's nuts.
Word. Yeah, no, it's just that city. I feel like Vancouver is like Seattle in a way. Like it's raining a lot. It's like only a couple hour drive. But yeah, like that was just like it felt like a whole different, like it felt like Europe. I never been to Europe, but we're going. I never been to like Asia. I never been really outside the country except for like Mexico, Canada, like real quick when I was younger. So yeah, it's crazy to be able to get out there and like experience.
Yeah,
Miami.
And then
was cool.
in this magnitude, you know what I mean? Not just, but it's like, yo, I'm out here moving with one of the best labels in the world. You know what I mean?
Rappers.
My favorite.
It's like, man, I'm really traveling the world with these guys. This is wild.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I want to talk about like photographers and videographers how they like build their own style. Like you got to have your own style. Like what's gonna separate you from the next guy? Like
right.
Like you got to have your own lane. You got to pick, you know, what you want to do. And it's like a lot of people have the same camera, same photos, like same lenses, same lights, everything. Like how are you gonna stand out? So like I think like my way of standing out is with the editing and with like the turnaround time. Like we're gonna talk about this like a million times. Like turnaround time is so crucial. Like I wouldn't be on tour if it wasn't for turnaround time. I sent that video to Boz the next day and a set of photos. Like that's always a good thing to do. So it's like you know, editing, how you edit and how quick you edit is the way to stand out. That's how I do it. You know, just having consistent style.
I know with me, when it came to style, honestly, at first, I used to edit all my photos in Photoshop. I wasn't even fucking with Lightroom.
Word.
And then I went from Photoshop to my phone because that's when VSCO started blowing up crazy. So I would shoot photos on my DSLR. I had a
transferred over.
I had a 7D transferred to my phone, and then I would edit shit off my phone and then push it back into the computer. Yeah. And then when the VSCO desktop presets came out, I was going crazy on those. And then I found LUTs. Yeah. And then I started editing because LUTs was weird though, because I started with doing LUTs with the videos that we shoot, because you know we had digs and we were shooting videos with you know Cole, everybody, and I found out I can apply the LUT to a photo and not just a video, and it just gave all of them like a cinematic feel. And then from that point, I started looking around and realizing that everybody's using the same LUT packs. I'm like, yo. Yeah. This photo's through my eye, but like these teal blues and these more burgundy-ish reds and these oranges and all these different colors, it's like you have this, I have the same thing you have the same thing I have. So with me through Photoshop, I just really started, I think opacity really changed the game, because I would add different ones and I wouldn't just
kind
go
mix and
100%.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, let me pull the opacity on this one down to 20% and then add maybe like 4 or 5 of them. And mix them, go into like my blending options and all of these different things, and I was amazed at how much it made those subtle changes that made my photo look better. But at the same time, it helped me learn my way around Photoshop. I've been talking so far away from this, and now that I'm talking close to it, I can hear the difference. Shit. But it helped me learn Photoshop better. And it was just so many tools that you can use in there, from the brightness and the contrast to even the levels, like your curve adjustment layers and shit like that. Yeah. These are all things that when I look back and I was just using, when I was first using Photoshop and I was using just the same 3 or 4 tools, I'm like, this is a whole ass program. And I'm just using 3 tools.
Hey, but you got to master one at a time. You know? It's not going to come easy.
Yeah. And I think about it, that's how it happened. It started with doing those 3 all the time. And then once I got
That's a good topic to touch on, like, you know, just focusing on one thing.
100%.
Like, that's so important. Like, pick a lane, man. Yeah. Stop doing everything. Yeah. And it's hard as like a creative to like, you know, just focus on one thing. Yeah. But like it's so important. Like you're not gonna be successful just doing decent at like 8 different things. Everyone wants to be a dancer, rapper, singer, producer, manager, A&R, you name it. Like everyone's doing everything at once. Just pick a lane, man. Like I just did recaps and music videos. That's it. Yeah. And now I'm here. Like I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't just focus.
Nah, facts.
And when I was rapping, all I did was rap. I didn't like try to do everything else. And when I made beats, all I did was make beats. And now I'm just doing videos. Like, yo, just pick a lane, crush it, and then you can do that other shit later, like for fun.
100%.
And you're gonna kill it.
I think for some people, and it depends, because some people, you may be one of those people who you may have to learn more than one thing at a time, just because you're the only one with a camera. So all right, I have to learn photography and videography, but I think that makes it go back to the structure aspect. It's like, okay, if I have to learn more than one thing at a time, like my hand is forced, let me be like, okay, these first 3 hours of the day, I'm dedicating this to photography. These next 2 hours, I'm doing this. Or Monday is all photography. Tuesday is all whatever. And at least getting some structure. Because with, like I said, even with me, there's been times where I was like, oh, I literally be editing one photo in Photoshop, have a whole nother photo going in Lightroom, and be doing some shit in Final Cut. And like whenever Netflix breaks my attention, I would open up the other program and start working on that. And before I know it, I haven't got done none of them for real.
Yeah.
Or if they are done, they don't look how they would have looked if I focus in on one at a time. So I think if you are someone who can, if you are someone whose hand is forced to learn a few things at a time, get some structure. But
true,
to your
I think
point,
those things still like they're still like under the same umbrella,
right?
It's not
for sure.
like you're
because I think to your
things.
point, it's a matter of, like you said, people still, and I think to your point, I think that's a matter of people not having the patience to put the work in to build the craft. Because there's someone who may be a DJ and then they'll see photography blowing up and it's like, yo, this seems like as a whole photography is moving quicker. So fuck this DJ shit, I'm a photographer now. And it's like, yo,
or
you're gonna have to spend
both.
the same time becoming a good photographer.
And you weren't even a great DJ, like, bruh.
Exactly. And I think that's what it comes down to, the patience aspect. It's like, yo, you're going to have to spend time on it either way.
Discipline.
To get better and have the discipline.
It's hella hard too. Like, I still suffer from it. I know you do. Like
100%.
Still rapping, still like, having fun with that. But it's like, man, I got to stop spending money on that, stop spending time on that, and put that double down on on photos, videos, just kill it.
Yeah, and pictures. At least till you're in a situation to, if what your goal is to make money off of something, or get yourself in a situation to become great at it. Like, yo, like you said, revisit that later.
Yeah, you can.
Or do it in your free time. Like, okay, my main focus is doing photography.
Yeah, you can still have fun. You can still have a hobby. Like, it's
and you'll still learn in the meantime.
Right,
if you're still fucking picking up a guitar randomly from time to time or whatever, you may not keep or retain as much information, but you'll still have that muscle memory of having picked it up from time to time. Word. And then when it's time to move on to the next thing, it's like, yo, I still been dabbling in rap from time to time. So, okay, when I revisit, my pen is better than starting from nowhere. But at least in the meantime, my photography game is top tier.
Yeah. Plus, like, just from rapping and like making beats, like, I know what I want, like, as a rapper.
Right.
Like, when I'm making a music video, like, I'm not gonna send some whack shit because, like, I know what it's like to be on the other side of the camera, like, and now it's just about, hammering down and just killing it. Like, just fucking focus, man. It's not that crazy.
Yeah, that'd be the hardest part, like focusing on something and just being. Do you still deal with like fear at all? Because I know that for me was a super problem as far as like getting over the fact of just like wanting everything I did to be perfect. And when I say perfect for me wasn't like this weird perfect. It was like, I study shit that's on television. So like, I'd be like, okay, if I'm shooting a video of someone walking through the hallway, it better look like when the Joker walked out the bank at Dark Knight. Like, I need, you know what I mean? It's just bro, this hallway literally doesn't even have the setup to allow for that. You know what I mean? So it was just like, but I was looking for everything to be that. And then through doing stuff and seeing how whenever I tried, it still came out to be quality, I was like, yo, I was literally just trying to make things look like shit that it shouldn't have looked like.
And you spending all that time on like that, like 1%, that's not going to change anything.
Exactly.
No one's even going to notice, but you just stressing over it.
And allowing it to keep me from doing anything.
You got to ship that shit. Send it out. Like, let it be seen. Let it be heard. Let it be like interacted with. Then you can feel like what's working, what's not. Like, I don't know if a photo is going to go off until I post it. Like, I'm not going to spend a million hours trying to like get the shadows just right. And like, yo, just get it out there.
Yeah, because it'll be the shit that you think no one's going to fuck with.
That pops off
it's
everywhere.
Like,
yeah.
But sometimes I do shit that people be like, oh my God, yo, that shit looks amazing. Then I'll be like, man, are you fucking kidding me? Did you see the photo I posted yesterday? Like,
it was
the one
way
that
better.
took me 8 hours? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Every time. Every single time.
That shit be having me bugged out. I'd be like, so
like
now
the photo you took no time on goes crazy.
Goes nuts.
Like, all right, sick. That's the one. Like, but hey, whatever works, right? Like,
yeah. And then, but I think through that, what's crazy about that is speaking to the first question of finding your style.
True.
You pay attention to those moments, and then it's like, okay, this is what stuck. What about this stuck out to this person?
Right.
Was it that way I colored this, or did I do my dodge and burn, or did I do whatever? And it's just like,
oh. And you gotta hone in on that.
For sure.
Keep it consistent. Like, that's the only way.
Figure out what you did. Yeah. And that's why I think that's why when I started fucking with Photoshop, and we had this conversation as well.
Right.
But I used to, when I was editing my photos, I would literally just always merge my layers. Right. I would never keep everything separate. So if I had to go back and if I went too hard on clarity, or I don't even think it's called clarity in there, it might be, but if I went too hard on my clarity or my contrast or whatever, I would have to literally hit Control Z. Like I had to change my my undo clicks to like 500 because I would have to go back and then my computer would be slowing down, and it was just like, when I learned to make all my adjustments on different layers, it was like, oh, now I can just change this down a little bit. And then you just make, like I said, those small tweaks, and it's like, this looks so much better. It was just overdone. There's nothing wrong with the photo. You just had to bring the opacity on this one down to 80, bring this one down to 30.
Keep it simple, man.
And
like,
keep it simple.
Everyone's going crazy on the effects. Too many effects on one video, just like... simple.
For real. And I think it's easy to get excited because there's so many plugins.
You can
there's
do
so
that.
much shit.
But then like at the end, cut some things out.
That
and then it turns out fire.
That's hella true. Because yo, a lot of times when I edit videos, I send them off to Groove, and he'll be like, "Yo, I fuck with how you did this, but this is just too much. Just like tone it back just a little bit."
Right.
And that's why now, literally, if I do start editing something, whether it's a video or a photo, I'll go as crazy as I want. And then when I get to the end, literally what you just said, I'll be like, "Okay, let me peel this back. Let me peel this back." And the same with production. When I was making beats, I was like, yo, I'm gonna make the most abstract, crazy, and I'm listening to the beats that I like, and I'm like, these are simple as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I added way too much to this shit. I fucked it up. Like I fucked it up 5 sounds ago. Like I just got to strip all
it's
these
been
sounds
done,
away.
and you were just stressing over that. Yeah.
For real though.
Like Illmind was here, and like he was saying, like he when he makes a beat, he'll like just do everything, overproduce it, and then once it's done, he'll start peeling back the layers, take those out, take out like the cymbal, take out like a bass sound that's just not needed. This is just clouding it up, and he overdid it.
I've watched a lot of his his stuff on when he does the live cookups on like Instagram stories and shit, and I think even from what he says in regards of talking to producers, it's a lot of those just life points where of course he's talking to producers, but any field you're in, you can look at what he's saying.
Yeah, there's a correlation.
And be like, okay, these are things that help me produce better as a person who thinks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just not overdoing it, like you said, just peeling back, because those are things that life and taste and wisdom give you, of making so many beats over and over and being told, oh, this one's trash, this one's trash too, this one's trash, the next 30 are gonna be trash. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, it takes time to get that style too. Like you're not gonna get it from day one. You start finding what you like, and then you use that consistently. Like if you think of DJ Mustard, right? He popped off like crazy, right? It was the same beat for years. It was just like that same simple like pop beat with the snaps. Like you just
and
knew
figuring
it was
out
him.
small slight ways to tweak it and make everyone fuck with it all over again. It's
Every
like
time.
That's the hardest part. Like that's not simple. It make everyone looks at shit and be like, oh, that's so simple, I can do that. And I think Chris Rock said it one time. He was like, what? Why else would we create anything if we didn't look at someone else and be like, oh, I can do what the fuck you doing? And it's like, if that gets you started to try it, then fine. But once you get into it, you're going to realize, one, it's not as simple as I fucking thought it was.
And you don't even want to do that lane because it's already taken. Like,
and then I got to find my own way to do the shit anyway.
Find your path.
And that's why I think when you're start to finding your own style, I think don't be afraid to look at someone else's shit and copy their shit. Because sometimes that's the only way you're gonna get started, by having some sort of
That's
mode
how you find your
to
style.
go
You take
off of.
like your favorite things from like 10 different people. You mesh it together, stir that shit up, and that's you. You add your own little sauce to it, and you're good. That's that's all you need.
And it doesn't have to be huge. It has to be something slight. And through time, through experience, through living life, you'll
find that.
Just go back. Just go further back. Like, okay, who's a photographer from 50 years ago, 100 years ago? Don't always look to the people who's within the same era, within the same 10-year window.
Right.
Like, who's in this?
Yeah.
Like, we was just looking through that Contact High book the other day.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who shot LL Cool J on that one shoot? Who shot the Great Day in Harlem photo?
Take your
who
favorite
did whatever?
things from that.
And just
Find
find
out how to
little
do
tweaks.
it. And just tweak it,
Yeah, and I think also I was talking to one of the homies. His name Ahmad Barber. He's a fashion photographer. He does like a bunch of stuff for like Harper's Bazaar, like all kind of shit, like crazy. But he was just saying like, cause me just being in this position of mostly doing all of our stuff ourselves, I would look at those photos and be like, yo, these are crazy. Look at the clothes, look at the whatever. And I was putting all of that on the photographer. And then when I was talking to him, he was like, nah, like, this person does the style. This person finds where we're going to shoot. This person lights where we're going to shoot. This person does the makeup. This person does this. And I'm like, yo, there's 10 people.
Yeah, but he fucks with all of them like their own style too.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, like,
and I think that's one of the things that can sometimes discourage you because you don't know how much goes into something.
Right.
So it's like you just did your one photo and you're like, yo, why my photo don't look like that? It's like there were 10 people involved in making that. Shit. Yeah. And that's not to say you still can't do it, but it was 10 people, bro.
Probably like, thousands of photos just to get that one.
Exactly.
And it might have happened on accident, like even with
that's
all
a
that.
very good point.
Right.
That's a very good point because I was looking at it wasn't this book, it was another book, and the dude did a photo. He did a shoot with Ice Cube. I think his name is Chimodu. I think that's his name. But he was like, yo, I linked up with Ice Cube. We sat in a hotel room for like 4 or 5 hours, and he was like, these are the best 2 shots I got. Because I was just thinking, yo, if I take my camera out and I shoot,
it's gonna be
A1.
First photo.
First shot. Nah. And it's like, bruh, if you want to get the emotions and the feelings that these photos have, this ain't no running gun. Like, there's a time for that. There is running gun shit that you can do and it looks cool, it looks great, but there's a different type of photography. And I think it's to that, understanding like, okay, I want to be a photographer, fine. There's a bunch of different types of photographers. Do you even know what types of photographers there are? There's one who's just do portraits. There's one who do real estate. There's ones who do all kind of shit. Like,
it all takes different skills, different styles.
And if you don't know, you're gonna be trying in, not in vain because you'll still learn, but you won't be trying in the most efficient way possible to do what you're trying to do because you don't even understand. It's like we was talking about cameras the other day.
Yeah.
When I was like, somebody be like, yo, you know what? You know, I like the 70D, but I think I'm gonna get the GHX because this one doesn't do such and such. And it's like, yo, have you went through the settings on that camera? Like all those menus you just scroll through every day without clicking on none of them.
You get the same result from that.
The thing that you're saying that camera has, this one don't, this one actually has. You've just never clicked on the button. It's like, open the menu and learn about.
We just want to buy it and just be like, yo, be fire, like right away. Like
out the gate.
We're lazy. We don't want to like go through the settings. Like I'm terrible with that too. Like I don't know half the buttons on my shit, but like, whatever gets the job done, right? Like
I went through that. I literally went through that with Final Cut, and Groove would Groove sent me he sent me and the guys this site, and he was like, yo, go to this site. It literally walks you through every major update they would put out for Final Cut. They walk you through like 10
how to do it.
The whole thing. Like, here's the menu. Here's all of the settings in the menu. Here's what all of those go to. Here's what it changes. And he was like, yo, don't skip over nothing. Even if you think you know what it's about to say, just watch it anyway. And I was watching.
I'll save you mad time.
It saved me mad time. I learned more about my shortcuts, everything. I was like, yo.
The hotkeys and
doing auditions. Like, bro,
that's how you get that quick turnaround time right there.
Exactly.
Couple buttons.
Exactly. Yeah. Spending that 10 hours, because I watched it for like a week straight, like all of them.
It was like
maybe like 10 hours in front of the computer, and it's so much time, yo. Like, I found out in Final Cut, it has auditions. So let's say you're shooting a video, and let's say for the first verse, you shoot the first verse in 3 different scenes. Now, usually what I would do is be like, okay, I would put the first scene into the body, and then I would just stack the other 3.
Right.
But with auditions, you can add all 3 scenes into one clip, and then once you hover over it, it'll show you these little thumbnails, and you can slide through the thumbnail to see whichever one you want to go in there. And I was like, this is crazy, because you already know if you're editing the Final Cut, bruh, you can have 10 layers of footage on top of each other. Like, bruh, my timeline be going high as fuck because of my B-roll going over the clip, and then I'll have a 2.2-second adjustment just to do some BPM or just to do some shit like that. And before I know it, I'm literally having to scroll up my timeline to see everything in my feed or bring my clip sizes all the way down. So I was like, now I don't feel like I have a super busy workspace. I'm just seeing a few clips, and I can change through them in a way that makes it more convenient for me to see and understand.
You're going to have to show me that, man.
I'm just showing you before you leave. Yeah. I was like, this is nuts, but it came from looking at that thing. And I was like, if I just swore I knew what I was doing because
you've been doing it
me using these same ones all this time, it wasn't like I wasn't doing great work. I was doing great work. People was fucking with it and everything. But like you said, when it comes to the turnaround time, when it comes to all of that other little shit,
those little
it's
things
like, or making it easier for me. Like, okay, now if I have to change something, I don't have to undo, or I don't have to go digging through my footage and typing in names or looking up metadata or all this other type of shit. It's like I can just click it, find it, replace it, boom. My same color.
I just be soaking in game. I just sit here and listen, man. I ain't trying to like.
It's crazy.
I don't know shit. I've only been doing this like 1 year, bro.
Man.
Like,
have you really only been doing it for a year?
Yeah.
That's
January
crazy.
2018. It's January 2019 right now.
That's crazy.
It's like, man, I got a lot to learn. Like,
but
we've been doing it for a long time.
It's a year. It's a year
it's
since
a long
you picked
year,
up video.
like,
but
yeah,
to the point we had
true.
before, the rapping and all that other shit, that
right.
all helped bring it to this.
So
point.
really, it's been like 7, but like
7 years. That sounds about right.
one video year, just
That sounds
video.
about right.
Like, see, that's what happens when you focus on something. Like,
yeah,
shit
facts.
can happen quick.
Facts.
And you put that time in.
Facts.
Like, I was working full time, 40 hours, and then I could edit on the job sometimes. Before my job, after my job, I was shooting on the weekends, and I'd edit the whole week. Like, it's not you got to put in more than 40 hours. You're not gonna make it off 40 hours.
100%.
You got to put in like 80,
100%.
100-hour weeks. Like, you're gonna work weekends. Like, I worked every weekend for the entire year. Like, I didn't have one day off. So it's like, man, if you want to make it, you gotta like put the time in.
Like I said,
One day you can take it easy.
To do that.
One day, maybe like 5-10 years.
And then I think at that point you're not even gonna want to. And that's one thing that bugged me out when I was looking at Letterman when he left nighttime, whatever. And it was a big deal. And then a few years later, he literally pops back on Netflix doing the same thing, but in a new medium. I'm like, yo,
true.
You
He
not
retired
gonna want
for
to stop.
like 6 months.
You've been doing it for so long, you're not gonna want to stop.
He's
Like,
probably
you're
going
gonna
crazy.
He was probably like, yo, I can't sit home no more. Like, I got it. Even with fucking Barack and Michelle.
Right. I used to want to
I'm sure
retire.
that
like that was the goal.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, I was like, I just want to make enough to retire.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I'm like, shit. Retirement is like, it's like insanity.
100%.
It's like you just want to work. You just want to do something.
And that's when your body starts to wither away, and people deal with depression and shit. It's like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, your mind's literally gonna feel blank.
Right.
Like, that's not the purpose of it.
I think the goal is to like financially be able to retire, but like you can still work and you can kind of pick and choose.
And I think, you know what, that's a very good point, because
Right.
I think that's what people get it confused with. Like, they're like, yo, I want to be in the place of financial freedom, and that freedom they confuse with the freedom of not having to do anything. It's like, those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You can still go out and build houses just out of wanting to build houses, but so many people have grown up with the lack of financial freedom, so work is already synonymous with hard labor and money. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily, unfortunately, that's how it is for a lot of people, but that's not what it has to be. And I think that's what makes people have a distaste for hard work sometimes, because it's just like, yo, like, what is this outside of me just living check to check, or outside of me just
I read a book when I
surviving?
was like 17, 18 that like changed my like whole mindset on like financial shit. Like it's called The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. Like, this dude built his company and sold it for like 10 million. It was like limos.com or something.
Damn.
And then he bought it back after they like went under. He bought it back for like 200,000, built it back up again, and sold that shit again for like another.
You ever heard of that book?
Bruh, it's so unknown, but it's no fluff in that shit. Changed my life.
Damn.
Like think about it. Like, all these books out there that are like written by financial gurus or whatever, they got rich from writing the books, selling the books. They got rich by telling you how to be rich. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear about like investing in stocks for 40 years and retiring at 60 or whatever. That's boring. I want a Lambo in 10 years. I want it when I'm 30. I don't want it when I'm 60.
Yeah.
Throw my wheelchair in the back of the Lambo. Like,
Yeah,
what the
right,
fuck
right.
am I going to do with that shit? Like, I'd rather live fast and like and be young and have money, you know? So
Yeah.
that book teaches you how to do it. The dude retired at like 30.
Damn.
Like 10, 20 million. Like, that's who I want to read about. Like, I want to know how he did it. And he just talks about the mindset. He actually just dropped another book. Like he just does writing for fun because, you know, like we said, he's bored. He's always wanted to be a writer, but he never could. So like, he just, you know, now that he can do whatever he wants, he has the financial freedom. He can just write. He doesn't have to worry if it's going to pay the mortgage, you know. It's like, yo, he really made it. So like, I'd rather learn from someone that did it, made it happen twice, and then, you know, soak up the game. I've read that book 1,000,000 times, bro.
Damn.
I've recommended it to 1,000 people.
No, I'm
Nobody
definitely
ever
gonna check
reads
it out.
that shit. I was like, bro, you're gonna.
But
be
you know
stuck.
what? You know what? I think that goes back to because when it's easy, and I've definitely went through this. I've went through being addicted to learning. I think you can get so addicted to learning shit that you think you're doing shit and you're not. It's like, yo, like I remember I tell people all the time, one day I literally got up and I was like, yo, I'm going to go to the gym today. And I got online and I watched like 45 minutes of workout videos. And when I watched the last video, I literally turned around and went to sleep. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I worked out. I done learned all these. I'm like, yo, you still
didn't
haven't
put it to
done
action.
Shit. And I think
time.
that's the thing. I think people get so addicted to learn. Like, yo, I read this book on this, and I'm just like, yo, okay, what the fuck did you do after you read the book?
Yeah,
though?
that's half
like,
the battle.
Did you invest $1 in anything? Did you
put
post
an hour
a video?
into anything?
Anything? And it's no. It's like I read the book though.
Word.
And I think that's the thing. It's separating that action with the action of actually putting the pedal to the metal.
You don't even need that much like knowledge. Like everyone knows, you know,
because people
work out,
scared to
eat less. You'll be all right. It's not the info. It's like the execution.
It's the
Nobody
execution.
Executes.
So many people aren't executing.
Right.
They're not. And it's like I said, and I don't know. I think that's one of the things where it's like at the same time, this shit's not for everybody. So I'm not mad for people who literally there are. Like I said, there's a purpose for all of these people. It's just like I was having a conversation last night. People will be mad at people who go to the club all the time. It's like, yo, if there's nobody in the club, who's buying the liquor that's keeping this company in business? Who's buying the table covers for the VIP? Who's
flip side,
how they gonna pay the bottle girls?
Someone's got to do that job too.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to like fucking work at the airport. Like
exactly.
Someone's got to do TSA. Someone's got to fly the plane. You know?
I'm not mad at you like at all.
Having
like,
a job is cool.
Do,
like I love having a job. It's like it's consistent. Like that's what it is.
But it's like
there's no highs and lows. It's just like you're just coasting. Like
coasting. And some people want to coast.
Right.
And if that's what you want to do, fine. But if we're walking over into having a conversation about how do I become top tier, how do I become one of the elite people who make millions a year and do shit like,
facts.
We got to have a whole nother conversation. But if we're not having that conversation, then I have no gripes with you at all. I have nothing to say about what you're doing. You Netflix and chill 24/7. Cool.
Do you? If you're happy,
Netflix needs people to watch this shit all day and talk about shit online and make shit go viral. That's your.
We need people to watch our shit. You know,
exactly.
And like consume our shit.
Exactly.
Not everyone wants to produce. You know, it's like it's like entering the Matrix. Like you can never look at videos the same because we're like looking at it like, yo, how'd they do this? And we're like, man, I want to make something icy like that. Like
100%.
I can't watch a movie and it's rare, like unless it's really fucking good, like Dark Knight. Like I'll watch that and I won't think about like the lighting or whatever. Like I won't think about how the actor memorizes shit or whatever. Like you just start like looking at it from the other side. Like you don't consume the shit the same way once you flip over to the
Dark Knight is so good, yo. That's one of the best, bro. We watched that shit literally every day for the past like 6 days. I feel like, and I think the other night we watched, was it Rises? Is that the one with Bane?
I think it just got added to Netflix, right? So like everyone's
everyone's I'm like,
it.
bro, like that shit is such a good series. Like I'm mad Christopher Nolan is not doing them anymore.
Word.
I sort of hope they don't do no more if he ain't doing it. I'm not sure.
How long we've been going, man?
I know he's tired. It's got to be like an hour.
Oh, it's for sure. Well, not quite because this isn't.
It's almost an
19
hour.
minutes left?
We might need a part 2, my boy.
You might need a part 2.
We even got to the questions.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do some questions.
Let's do some questions. I think we talked about like everything, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's out there.
That was a pretty good first episode.
I got like 80 questions. I just put it on Instagram. Let's see what we got. Got some good questions, I think. What is a great cheap camera for teens? I don't know why you got to say teens, but like a good starter camera. I started on the Panasonic G7.
I started on the 7D.
5 or 600, 7D, or the T3i too. That was like 5 or 600. You know, with a lens, you can get like a 1.8.
Most cameras come with a kit lens at this point.
The kit lenses are alright, but you got to get like a 1.8 if you want that like nice bokeh or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want no 2.4. Like, well, get what you can get, but I would prefer a faster lens.
Right.
For like you said, that lighting.
All right, let's see what we got. Film or digital? I like digital, but I got a film camera. I just got the Nikisha N8000, the 3D shit.
That's the gift.
I got one of you. I'm gonna develop that shit.
I want to see.
It just takes mad long. Like, I don't know, but film is classic. I like I might get a Super 8 like video camera for.
I think we have one of those.
Oh yeah, those are fire. What do you want the most right now? I don't know. Like, I just want to keep working and like experience traveling and, you know. make things happen.
Let me see some.
Yeah, just scroll through.
Chase, fuck going on.
Ask away.
Let's see.
See if we got some fire.
Wait, hold on. Any advice on first gigs at concerts? What types of lenses? What types of shots, etc. Word.
I try to get a lot of different angles. I try to go, stage shots of the crowd. Those are always cool because it's like, if you don't get the crowd, it's like, what's the point? You got to see the crowd. You got to get that energy. Like if I'm in the pit, I'll turn around, shoot people like reacting or singing the songs. Those are always cool moments. People getting hyped. Shooting the artist, of course, is important. I'll shoot from the back of the crowd. I'll shoot from the deck. I'll shoot from like a random spot backstage. Just get a bunch of different stuff, and kind of plan out my transitions. So like if there's like a pole, I'll like move to the side. A lot of my transitions are in camera. But I mean, I'll add a little sauce to it, like in post. But like you got to do it in camera. Like if someone points, I'll like throw my camera like that. That's how you get the icy shit. Like,
for real, that's a fact though.
I'm known for my transition, so I like to keep it like exciting. Like no one wants to watch a boring recap. Like start right away. Like 2 seconds or less. You got no time.
Oh my god,
nobody's gonna watch your shit if it's like
Roop, how
10
many times
seconds.
we talk about this? Bro, all the time.
Same with beats. Same with rap songs.
No, people's attention spans are short. Like you have to have some cuts, some BPM, some whatever in your shit within, like you said, the first 2 seconds, or someone's gonna be like, "Yo,
scroll to the next thing." There's a million things. Yeah,
that's a hella good point.
Word.
That's actually a fire.
Next question, please. I'm just kidding.
Next question. What was?
But for lenses on that, it's like 1.8, 1.4, whatever you need to like, get that low light, because there's not a lot of light on concerts unless it's like a daytime festival or something.
Yeah, that's why those fast
70 to 200, fire. Like you can shoot from the crowd. It's like you're right there. So if you can't get like pit access or stage access, shoot from the crowd with a 70 to 200. And just move around, maybe like get to the front of the crowd, get to the back, and just finesse it. I shot that 7200 like 2.8 Sony for the Boz show. Clutch. If you look at that video, you see me from the crowd. Like I was really far away, but I zoomed all the way in. Got the crowd going crazy, and some from backstage. And shout out to Jason Beyond the Mannequin on Instagram. He had that lens. He rented it because he was shooting for Bumper Shoot. Super clutch.
Damn.
Without that lens, I might not be here. Like, I'm sure I would have got like another opportunity, but like that shit was clutch.
All right, let's see.
What else we got?
Come on, y'all.
There's some fire in there. You gotta.
Let me see.
Just start.
What exactly does your signature filter do? It's tuning up the red and blue as far as I can see.
Like photos?
I guess so.
Red and blue.
From Jasa Casa.
No, I try to add like a lot of clarity, a lot of sharpness. I just like really simple, clean fucking shit. I don't like blurry shit. I like portraits like just of the person. I don't like I like wide like group shots, but just when it's there, wide shots of the crowd. Those always are dope.
Do you usually go heavier on your clarity or your sharpness? Because I used to go. Okay.
Not too heavy, because it could look almost like fake.
Yeah, bro.
Just
honestly,
enough. Just a little bit of everything. Like you don't want to overdo it. Just like producing and whatever. You don't want to overdo anything.
Sometimes I actually drop my clarity down, like even below 0. I'll go like a -5 and then punch up like an extra 10 points on like sharpness.
I go like 30, 40.
30, 40 on sharpness.
Yeah,
you definitely can. You honestly, you know what I fuck with a lot. And you probably can do it in Lightroom too, but in Photoshop, the sharpness tool, because you can just go over. I would just go over eyes or just go over a mouth, and it makes it stick out so much more than everything else, and it just gives it like a depth of
I
feel.
did that the other day. Like it was like a blunt, and like I put a mask around it and like highlighted that shit. Like
100%.
So I want that blunt
is a game changer.
No pun intended.
That's a game changer.
Well, one thing, it was like my camera. Everyone's asking about what camera I use. I use the Sony A7 III and like a Sigma 50 millimeter like 1.4.
How do you like the Sigmas?
It's amazing. It's the best lenses. I'm about to get the 35 Art Sigma.
That's what I've been hearing about those art lenses.
There's Sony's good for low light.
Evan shoots with it, he used to shoot with the Sigmas. You ever heard of Evan 5 Points?
Nah.
He's fire. Photographer from Atlanta.
You
he used
Sigma?
to shoot with a Sigma. I'm not sure. I think he shoots with
Smart
Leica
man.
now.
But
But
Leicas are cool too.
yeah.
Yeah. Sony lenses are fire, but they're just mad expensive. Sigma's like the middle ground. It's like good price, still just as fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check one of those out.
I used the GH5 for a minute. Panasonic GH5 is fire for like videos. Low lights, alright. Sony's like the king of low light. So if you want that, if you're shooting concerts, you're shooting like nighttime things. Sony, sharp and low light. It's killer.
What was your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge? I don't know.
He don't know.
I don't know, man. Biggest
What's your favorite
challenge?
thing about
Fucking-
Seattle?
Maybe like fucking, trying to balance a job and putting time into my craft, Like that's not easy.
Nah.
Mopping floors is like a physical job. Like you get tired, like you get home, you're like, I'm good today. I'm not doing shit. I'm just gonna watch Netflix and go to bed. Do it all
Facts.
again tomorrow.
That's a good point. To that point, I think it's important for anyone who is a creative and has to work. Don't be fooled into thinking that you have to quit your job and be sleeping out of your car to be a creative.
Don't do it.
Like, don't fucking do it. Like, keep your job. Do what you need to do to maintain your income every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's money you
let
can
it
have
learn
for
from
food,
that
for
my
gear.
story. Like I quit my job at 17. It was like, yeah, I'm about to be on. Didn't happen for 6-7 years. So like, hey,
Yeah, like if
Keep
you
that
can
money
keep your
coming
job,
in.
and most people can, it's just there's this false narrative that you have. It's like people put them in a situation of most possible struggle for. It's like that whole struggle didn't help your journey at all. Like you could have totally avoided that and been able to have food to buy, have money to buy food and
Yeah.
gear and all kind of shit.
I was just talking to DJ Millhouse about that. Like, you gotta it's nice to have that consistent check, so
Right.
you don't have to take certain jobs that you don't want to do.
exactly.
Like, but
Very
I
good
still
point.
did like everything, like, because
But that was still
I
a
was
choice.
just trying to get experience. Yeah,
Right, that was still
but
a
it's
choice.
like nowadays I kind of have to take a lot of gigs because it's my main income now. So
Yeah.
like I got to focus. What was the other one? Seattle.
What's your favorite thing about Seattle?
I like just like I don't know the scenery. Like there's mountains like an hour away. There's downtown. There's the water. There's like a desert. Like Eastern Washington's like flatland. Like you can get everything in Seattle. It's just a beautiful city. A lot of talent there. A lot of like a great hip hop community. And it's just you got to come out there, man. It's
I'm gonna have to
amazing.
check it out.
I definitely recommend it.
On that note, I think honestly, man, like what these last few days, even in regards of just seeing how your trajectory has sped up so quickly, how has that experience been for you so far at this point? Just as far as like seeing the photos
It's
just
wild.
be everywhere. Like I seen you put Instagram on Instagram earlier. You was like, "Yo, my whole explore page
It was
is
like
my
it was
photos."
like 3 or 4 of mine in like a couple seconds. I was like, this is wild. I didn't even check it like when the Nicole photo like really popped off. Like I'm sure it was everywhere. It was like, man, I'm getting tagged by like XXL, Complex, whatever. I was like, this is insane. Another question. What camera? Already answered that. Sony A7 III. Don't forget it. It's icy for photos and video.
But you might try out this 1DX Mark II though.
I might, but it's expensive.
It is kind of expensive, but it's a good camera. I'm
For real,
looking
for
forward
real.
to even if you rent it. I think you're gonna fuck with it, bro.
Right. I definitely think I will. Like I always love like all the footage from that. How to edit photos like you do. Lightroom. I use Lightroom. Someone asked me Photoshop or Lightroom. I never done Photoshop really. Like unless you want to do like, making someone's skin like nice. But like I don't do that. I like to keep it like natural. Like
Yeah.
I like candid moments like where you just just hanging out. Like he just snapped a candid of me on this podcast. Like that's
You don't
probably
do that
gonna be
one in
icy.
Photoshop.
Yeah. Like I don't like the portraits like where they're looking at the camera as much. But I still do that. Where am I from? Seattle, obviously. What camera lenses? Already touched on that. I got a 50mm 1.4 Sigma, and I have a Sony 28 f2. It's pretty icy. It's like a wider lens, and that's really about it. I might get the 35.
35 is nice.
Just a lot of like, what's your camera on this? What's your plans for the
I think
future?
we pretty much answered everything. I think we went to a lot of detail about a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
which is
for
probably
sure.
more than questions they even knew to ask.
Plans for the future. I'm trying to build up my YouTube. Diamonds Dancing. It's like my music video platform. Like That's where I want to build up, like, and put like underground artists on. Like, I want to make, you know, my own video for them, put them on the platform, you know, get them more fans. Like,
nice.
Everyone needs that.
That's
like, I needed that when I was rapping. I didn't have like an outlet. Like, no one ever heard my shit. So I want to build that for rappers that were like me.
Facts.
There's a million of them.
I think we Gucci.
Who do you look up to as a filmmaker? I like Jacob Owens. He's a YouTuber. Like, he does music videos. He's fire.
Is that the dude who be with Peter McKinnon?
No.
Okay, I don't.
No, Peter McKinnon's fire too. Like, he's killing it. Like, I watch all his shit and learn from it. Cole Bennett's killing it.
Cole Bennett's fire.
My boy Dylan Fout from Seattle, he's killing it. He does all Travis Thompson videos. He's fire.
I'm about to check him out.
He's killing it. How important is Instagram for a photographer? Everything. Next question. Anything else you want to talk about? I think we might have.
Yeah,
Someone said Windex or Pine Sol.
Pine Sol.
When I was a janitor, I didn't use any of that. Like, we had, like, you know, like stronger shit. I don't know what it was called. It was like Glance or something.
Jesus, that sounds
like there was a bunch.
Clear.
Yeah, for real.
Cleaning products.
For real. Which podcast are you on? It's called One Could Argue. If you listen to this,
One Could Argue podcast,
you would know.
y'all.
If you want to shoot a music video but don't know what vibe, nah. Come on, man. We got to do better than this. It's all the same.
You thought I was tripping? I was like, bruh.
Someone asked me if I can give them $300 to buy a lens. No, man. Get to work. Get a job. I don't know. I'm not the guy.
To that point,
do you have a girlfriend?
A job.
Do you have a girlfriend? I have a fiance. I proposed last year.
No way. That's crazy.
Not, 2017.
That's
so like the end of
crazy.
2017. I went up to Vancouver, Canada. We went up to a mountain. I proposed on the mountain. Like,
wow,
it was epic.
Nuts.
We just recently like went back up there and visited. So I love Vancouver. So we're starting off the next leg of the tour in Vancouver. I love it there.
Wow,
it's like another Seattle to me. Like, I just love Vancouver as a vibe.
That is nuts.
Yeah. Shout out to Denise. She's amazing.
What's up, Denise?
What
Congratulations.
Yeah, speaking on that, like, sacrifice, like, yo, fucking, I'm never home.
Yeah.
People don't see the bad sides of the shit. Like, oh, shit, you're with J. Cole. Oh, you're with Boz. Oh, you're on tour. Like, it must be amazing. Like, oh, my girl doesn't like that. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, when I was there, like, I was working every weekend. Like, you know, you got to sacrifice the shit. Like, you're not going to see your family sometimes. You're going to have to miss birthdays.
Yeah.
You can't hang out with everyone. Yeah, you don't have time. Like, that's man, people don't see the other side of the shit. Like, even with the sessions here, like, I did an interview with Complex, right? Some people might know me from that. Like, that was a bad move. Like, I got a lot of heat from Cole, Dreamville, everybody for, like, you know, posting that shit because they wanted to keep the details, like, under wraps.
Right.
So, like, I had to apologize to Cole. I had to apologize to all the Dreamville. Like, that was a bad time. Like, even though I'm, like, doing good and everyone's like, yo, how was it to be with Cole? Like, yo, he didn't fuck with me. Like,
right.
Like, I lost all their trust because, you know, I got excited and told, like, some details about the, you know, the whole session. So, like,
right.
That's why this podcast is more about, like, me, and we're not really talking about that shit.
Right.
But yeah. You
know.
Nah,
and that's an important aspect of it because it goes back to what we were saying before. Like, there are parts of it that are nuanced that you have to understand. It's like, once you in a situation like that, once you, just like me being here at the studio, there's these sessions going on. It's not for me to be on Instagram like, yo, look at Cole in the kitchen, look at this person. It's like,
facts.
The people who came here, who paid to be here, who was doing this is for them. This is for me to just make sure everything is flowing how it needs to from someone who's a part of the studio. Like I say, even for you as a photographer, it's like, yo, there's certain things that we have to check on first. There's certain phone calls I got to make first. And I've told you about mistakes I've made, jumping the gun, posting shit to Twitter. And before it was just like, yo, like, nah, like, there's a chain of command. And I think when you get into a field, like I said, if those are things you don't want to buy into, then do your own shit.
Yeah.
Don't be like, yo, I want to do marketing for y'all, or I want to do photography for y'all, or whatever. If you want to live by your own rules, don't ask to be a part of someone else's structure. And like I said, but in the meantime, if you do, it teaches you how to be on one accord. It teaches you how to build relationships. And even with those types of fumbles, you learn those lessons, and it's best to learn them as quickly as possible.
For sure.
And then you're able to bounce back and you re-up and you have the understanding.
And now you won't do that mistake again.
For real.
You do, that's
and there's
on
so
you.
many other mistakes that you won't make just out of the caution and the memory of what it felt like to be in that experience.
Big time.
And then you get better. And I think that's so important for photographers and anyone who wants to be creative or just handle someone else's image specifically. It's like you have to make sure you're checking in with people. Anything, if it's any doubt in your mind, any question, just be like, you know what, fuck it, let me check first. No one's ever gonna bug out on you for checking first.
Right.
And like I said, you build that trust and you regain it. And like I said, you're a better person for it. I've so many times been like, oh well, this should be able to, like I said, I should be able to do this. This shouldn't be a problem. And it's like, that's actually a huge problem. I totally wish you asked me first. You know what I mean?
For real.
Molly will hit me or Groove will hit me and be like, yo, like what the fuck was you on? And I'm like, oh shit, bro.
Yeah.
So
for real.
That's some real shit though. So like I said, if you're one of those people who know who you are and you're an asshole, or you just feel like you want to do what you want to do at any given moment, you're the perfect person to go out and start your own shit, and you can run it however you choose to. But in the event that you want to be a part of somebody else's shit, just put all that shit to the side and go on. But to that, in time, you'll realize you won't even be doing shit the same. This shit that you would have done, you'll be like, yo, I can't believe I would have done that before. Like that's not even. It speaks to the growth aspect, and it speaks to, like I said, the opportunity to do different things even later on as that shit is built. There's stuff I couldn't have done as just a new intern here, but now it's like, oh, through that trust, through that whatever, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. I don't mind it. I trust the fact of you have an understanding of what is too far, what's not far enough, what fits, and then you're able to do it. And but that comes with patience. That comes with patience and understanding.
Discipline, patience, focus.
That's some real shit.
It's a common theme on this one.
Yes, it is.
Someone said, how do you work for Dreamville? Do what I did. Like, shoot something for free. Kill it. There you go. Like, just
do good work.
It's not about getting lucky. It's more about just like being prepared for the opportunity. I'm sure I would have had this opportunity again. Like I met Loot or whatever and JID and all Earth Gang like in January. I wasn't that good then. Like I did those recaps and they weren't fire. I didn't get the opportunity. But then, I got better. Kept going.
And we find ourselves here.
Exactly. I think that's a wrap. I don't know if I see anything
else
fire. Someone said, do you still make beats? I don't. I still rap sometimes, but like I've just been rapping on other people's beats. It's just fun. I use Final Cut, Lightroom. I got some plugins. Let's see. Signature filter. I ain't giving you the sauce, man. You gotta develop your own style. You don't want my shit anyways. Like,
it's a fact.
You're not gonna do it as well. You're not
gonna
be
look like Chase Fade shit.
Yo, yeah, dude. Yeah, I've had that happen so many times. Oh man, you look just like this guy. Like, you gotta break out of that. It takes time, but you'll get out of it.
You may start with that, which is fine, but you definitely want to break out of it.
Word. Well, shit, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. I think your shit is Chase Fade on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure y'all follow Chase.
Yeah.
Check him out. Follow him. There's still shit going on downstairs at the moment. We're still in the middle of this thing, but there's a lot of amazing things going on. And make sure you follow him. Stay tuned in. Follow the One Could Argue podcast on
these guys are
everywhere
amazing.
podcasts are, Spotify, SoundCloud, everything. Social media, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Chase, I thank you, my guy.
Thank you for having me.
Bet.
Lit. That shit was fun.